Aya Wilson throws tantrum after kicked out of Team USA. Defend Caitlin Clark. A'ja Wilson just faced the harshest reality of her career, and it hit harder than anyone could have predicted. For 2 years, she had spent her time shadowing Caitlin Clark with thinly veiled contempt, leaning on referees who bent to her every move. But now, Team USA had flipped the script. In one decisive move, they erased Wilson from the roster and elevated Clark to a prime spot in the selection pool for 2026 and 2028. Insiders say Wilson's breakdown was nothing short of catastrophic, a storm of fury, disbelief, and humiliation. What finally caught up with her was more than missed shots or lost games. It was the weight of her own toxicity. Meanwhile, Clark's quiet professionalism cemented her as the undeniable heir to the future of women's basketball. Before we unravel exactly why Wilson was cut and what her explosive reaction looked like, ask yourself, did she deserve this fall from grace? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Wilson's game, once praised for its flash, has a vulnerability few dare to mention. Nearly a dozen free throws per contest come not from raw talent, but from a masterful manipulation of contact. Every drive, every defensive challenge comes with a calculated flourish, bending the rules to her advantage. WNBA officials, long accustomed to calling these borderline fouls, turned Wilson into a machine that thrived on whistles rather than skill. But the international stage told a brutally different story. Team USA coaches, watching her under the unforgiving glare of FIBA courts, saw the truth. Overseas, referees do not bow to reputations, awards, or MVP banners. Here, players survive on toughness, precision, and creativity, not on bending the rules. A style dependent on favors crumbled when defenders were allowed to play hard, and Wilson's usual tricks faltered. Clark, on the other hand, plays a different game entirely. From 30 feet out, she pulls up and sinks shots that no whistle can influence. Contact is irrelevant. She adapts midair, finishing through defenders with cold-blooded precision. Her step-back threes, her deep-range bombs, her court vision, every move demands skill, not officiating mercy. Scouts watched Wilson struggle in international exhibitions as the calls dried up, while Clark's brilliance remained untouchable, shining in any arena, under any circumstances. When FIBA referees let defenders play hard and unrelenting defense, Wilson's scoring efficiency cratered. The rhythm she depended on in the WNBA, whistles, favorable calls, and protective officiating, vanished in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, Clark remained unshaken, her numbers steady and unstoppable. She doesn't rely on referee interpretation. She carves out space with pinpoint release, relentless footwork, and shooting range that punishes any defender daring enough to challenge her. Watch how they attack the basket, and the difference becomes a lesson in skill versus reliance. Wilson seeks contact and waits for mercy, while Clark predicts it, adapts mid-motion, and finishes through it as if the hoop bends to her. Wilson's strategy works in the WNBA, a league where officials often shield offensive players. Clark's method, however, works everywhere, every court, every rulebook, every nation. International basketball is a test of resilience, where effectiveness can't hinge on how tightly or loosely referees officiate. FIBA games flow differently, more physical, fewer pauses, and Wilson's habit of baiting fouls became a fatal weakness. Her rhythm fell apart the moment the calls stopped coming. Team USA coaches build rosters for World Cups and Olympics with one principle in mind: adaptability. They need players who can thrive under any officiating style, anywhere in the world. Wilson's dependence on favorable conditions painted her as a liability. Clark's self-sufficient scoring proved she could dominate in any environment. The choice was stark. Under FIBA rules, one player needed special treatment to survive. The other forged her own path, unstoppable by circumstance, and then came the moment that would define Wilson's year, maybe her career. The roster dropped. Her name? Not there. The reaction? Catastrophic. A'ja Wilson, who had imagined December as another month of headlines, accolades, and dominance, suddenly had her worldview shattered. Sources close to the Las Vegas Aces describe a meltdown that lasted for days, a star untouchable in her own mind, suddenly eclipsed by the very player she spent years undermining. Clark, meanwhile, received her invitation to the senior national team pool, met with congratulations from teammates, coaches, and fans alike. She accepted it with quiet grace, humility, and the poise of someone who understands her place in the story bigger than herself. Wilson? Desperation. Frantic calls to Team USA officials, pleading for explanations, chasing a decision that had already been made. Her representatives scrambled to get meetings, but coaching staff had already moved on, eyes fixed on the players who earned their spots. Social media, Once Wilson's arena for subtle attacks on Clark's rise now became a stage for spinning excuses, scheduling conflicts, prior commitments, transparent attempts to mask humiliation, and all along, Team USA had been watching. Every cryptic post, every passive-aggressive remark, every whisper of jealousy was cataloged. They weren't just evaluating stats, they were evaluating character. Team USA officials didn't just look at stats, they watched behavior, weighing every action for its impact on team chemistry and professionalism. Wilson's relentless attacks on the league's brightest star revealed a dangerous pattern, toxicity that could poison any locker room. Meanwhile, Clark's response told a different story. She didn't retaliate. She didn't post petty digs online. She let her talent do the talking, her consistency speaking louder than any whisper of jealousy. Every roster decision from Team USA sent a blunt, unmistakable message. Past glory doesn't grant immunity. Character matters. Professionalism matters. Leadership matters. Chaos and pettiness, no matter how decorated the player, come with consequences. Wilson's meltdown over being cut only confirmed what the selection panel already knew. A player who can't handle exclusion cannot handle the pressure of representing her country on the world stage. Emotional fragility exposed itself, and mental toughness, the kind demanded by international competition, was nowhere to be found. Clark earned her spot through pure skill, strategic brilliance, and unshakable character. Wilson lost hers to jealousy, insecurity, and poor judgment. The rivalry traces back to 2024, when Wilson, confident in her 4 MVP awards, 3 championship rings, and her years as the supposed face of women's basketball, began shadowing Clark with envy. Every cryptic tweet, every passive-aggressive comment felt justified to her, a self-assigned defense of the sport's integrity. She viewed Clark's meteoric media rise as an affront to veterans grinding silently in the WNBA. Posts questioning Clark's worth became her weapon. She highlighted veteran accomplishments while Clark shattered college records, all under the watchful eyes of Team USA coaches. Every interaction was cataloged. Every doubt and dig noted. When Clark was named Time's Athlete of the Year, Wilson's social media betrayed disbelief rather than support. USA basketball had clear sight of the divide, one player elevating the sport, the other undermining it. Interviews grew sharper, phrases like real impact and sustained excellence weaponized to diminish Clark's achievements. She questioned Clark's influence. Her words aged poorly as Clark continued to sell out arenas and redefine the game. Every post, every statistic, every highlighted veteran record revealed Wilson's growing fear, the dread of losing the spotlight she once assumed was hers alone. Instead of celebrating Clark, Wilson made her success about herself. She turned admiration into attack, ambition into jealousy. For 2 years, Team USA watched as Wilson wrote her own